People talk of justice, but I say they don't know what is justice until they taste injustice, just to be arrested for nothing, thrown into the cells.
Tom Mboya Street is very important to me because it gives me a chance to remember one of the Kenyan heroes.
On streets or buildings or features like stadiums, I think it's a way of recognizing the roles each one of us has played in bring up this country.
There are some discrepancies as to why some people are given names because of who they were, just personalities. Kenya inchi yangu, Kenya inchi yangu iliyo uhuru. Inchi iliyo uhuru. Toka sasa mpaka milele. Kenya inchi.
Mau Mau Uprising, an armed local movement directed principally against the colonial government and the European settlers in the 1950s. It was led by Field Marshal Dedan Kimathi. Among others, it was also the largest and the most successful movement in British Africa, though it was not emulated by other colonies.
The late Field Marshal Dedan Kimathi Wachiuri, he was a very jovial, jocular, humorous man. And even when he was described as a terrorist, we could comprehend because we knew he had some very interesting stories told about him.
The protest was supported almost exclusively by the Kikuyu, despite issues of land rights and anti-European, anti-Western, designed to attract other groups. The British killed over 12,000 Mau Mau militants. The Mau Mau carried out many atrocities, with the violence on all sides reflecting the ferocity of the movement and the ruthlessness with which the British suppressed it. Kenyatta denied he was the leader of the Mau Mau, but was convicted at a trial and was sent to prison in 1953. However, Kenyans would still not relent in their quest for freedom. Kimathi Street has been named after the legendary Dedan Kimathi, full of different business entities on which his statue stands tall in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi. The mention of the street to Kenyans renews their loyalty and patriotism to a country that is swiftly growing economically and healing from the long days of bondage.
Dedan Kimathi kama wale Waafrika wale walijitolea kupigania nchi yetu hiyo miaka ya 50. Nikipita hapa nikiona hii sanamu ile inanikumbusha wale mashujaa walipigania uhuru.
Kimathi Monument has been erected on Kimathi Street to commemorate 50 years of execution. On 12 December 1964, Kenya became a new republic with Kenyatta as our first president. Free from colonial bondage, President Kenyatta would embark on nation building, putting together what had been lost. However, some would feel that his government was full of political injustice, detentions and dictatorship.
Kenyatta, do we sing hallelujah for what he did? How's the suffering of our family? We don't have to talk about it because he's dead. People talk of justice, but I say they don't know what is justice until they taste injustice, just to be arrested for nothing, thrown into the cells, and you are not seeing your family, you are not allowed to communicate, you are there, the lights are on both day and night, then only shall you get the message to know it's wrong to incarcerate a fellow human being and When I think of it, I feel very, very bad, very bad.
Mr. Kenyatta's ruling party, KANU, took on board the opposition at a time when the country was almost divided by different ideologies from the political class. Lord Dalamere Avenue, as it was called by the settlers, cuts across the central business district that links downtown Nairobi to the upper side of Nairobi.
But independence, it was felt with a light touch that perhaps the best thing would be now to remove the Dalamere from the might of the people and from the mark of the city by naming Dalamere Avenue after Kenyatta.
Kenyatta Avenue is the home of prestigious business openings. Moi Avenue, the then government road, would be named after Kenya's longest-serving president, Daniel Moi. Unlike other leaders who take office and quash the status quo, he would go round the clock to ensure unity, peace and tranquility prevails in the country.
Mapenzi, 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 mapenzi. Moi, Moi, rais wa Kenya. Moi, Moi, rais wa Kenya.
Mimi Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi naapa kwamba nitakuwa mwaminifu kwa Jamhuri ya Kenya
The name Malone seems to have a spell that spurs development in major towns in Kenya with different types of commercial activities. On its south ends is the famous earliest means of transport. The country's security was a matter of priority to him. He ensured peace and good coexistence in the African region.
As a beginning to finding lasting peace in Rwanda. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now declare this meeting open. Thank you.
The naming of Moi Avenue is still raising controversies, as some still believe the name was given out of favors.
There are some discrepancies as to why some people are given names because of who they were, just personalities. We don't want to go into that, but not everybody got their fair share in distribution of those names.
Among other key figures in Mr. Kenyatta's government was Mr. Tom Mboya, whom upon independence would serve as Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, later moved to Economic, Planning and Development docket.
When we talk about the role that each one of those people played before independence, people like Tom Mboya will be remembered because he is the father of the labor movement in this country. He did a lot for the workers and the welfare of the workers. He helped so much in the recognition of equal pay for equal work for all categories of workers, and he coordinated all the trade unions so that the workers didn't remain where they were during the colonial time.
A trade unionist and a statesman, he was earmarked as Mr. Kenyatta's successor. However, in July 1969, Mr. Mboya would meet 2 bullets on his chest on his way from Kuhani Pharmacy along the then government road. For decades, memories of the man who bestowed the political landscape of Kenya have not yet faded away.
This street is named Tom Mboya because he's one of the heroes of our country that should be remembered. In fact, he's a man that you should not avoid. We should not, when you talk about the heroes of this country and you put the name Tom Mboya out, you are erasing the history of this country. It reminds me of a hero that died fighting for the freedom of this country. I use Tom Mboya Street always because it is on my way to go to work, because I work near Hilton Hotel, and I know that I'm a health consultant, so it is always my pathway to where I work.
I use Tom Mboya Street. I know why this Tom Mboya Street was named after Tom Mboya. It is because this is where he was gunned down in 1969. Tom Mboya Street is very important to me because it gives me a chance to remember one of the Kenyan heroes that fought for independence and causes in Kenya.
The then Victoria Street, in honor of long British monarch, would be renamed after Tom Mboya. Although the street bears his name, the monument in his honor has been erected along Moi Avenue. Having many visitors for Nairobi in a normal day, hundreds of people will gather at the foundation to relax and take photos, while others would gather to pay tribute whenever things go their way. The African glory of our heroes continues to enrich itself in these iconic streets.
I want to appreciate those who named roads and other facilities under the leadership, but also request them that they need to go further and also be able to balance, because in Nairobi here, we may not hear names like Masinde Muliro. And not only that, we have Wangombes, we have those regional leaders whom we also need to appreciate that they were there and they played their role as leaders of those days.
With the entry of county governments, more heroes are soon to be honored. Long live the streets of freedom.
Kenya nchi yetu.